Hey there, thanks for tuning into Duckbricks. I'm Chris, and today we are continuing my series of building the biggest and craziest LEGO castle army ever. We've taken a look at the skeletal forces of Malak the Malign, the Black Falcons, the Lion Knights, the Forest Men, the other villainous forces, but now it's time to take a look at a grand alliance of Crown Knights, dwarves and men working together to fight back the forces of evil. So, let's dive into this army from level 1 to level 100. Answering the call to battle and rising up against the forces of Malak the Malign, we have the Royal Crown Knights. An alliance of dwarves and men, these are the most formidable fighters in all the realm, hoping to unite all other factions under their banner as they seek to destroy the army of skeletons once and for all. Together with this new class of knights, we'll be counting up from level 1 to level 100 of all the soldiers in this army. Because there are so many types and so many variations, we have a lot to get through. So let's jump into these troops of the Crown Knights right now. At level 1, we have the standard foot soldier. These are men and women from all across the realm who have flown under the banner of the Crown Knights. They are loyal, fierce, and strong, and their numbers are many. Armed with swords, spears, shields, and all different assortments of weapons, they make up the backbone of the Royal Crown Army, and serve as the protectors of good throughout the realm. But now, let's move on from the standard soldier onto level 20. One level above the standard infantry. At level 20, we have the archers. These bowmen were former forestmen who have defected over to the Crown Knights, making sure that they can defend the castle against any ranged attacks. Keeping eyes in the sky watching for incoming dragon strikes, and being sure to strike their enemies down from long range. These bowmen are just one level higher than the standard infantry trooper. But we have so much more to cover, so let's move on to level 30. Exceptional knights from both the infantry and the archery forces are elevated to the elite knight status in level 30. Each elite knight is featuring a specialized breastplate, extra armor to protect them in battle, and they carry the flags and banners of the Royal Knights into the fight with them. They are armed with unique armor, weapons, and serve as the stronger soldiers on the battlefield, paving a way for the standard infantry troops to make their way through. Here you can see they all are featuring the specialized printed armor breastplate, showcasing the royal crown, for they are the elite knights in the realm. But this is just level 30, so let's move on upwards to level 40. Leading the charge of the standard troops are the old and wizened soldiers. They may be past their prime, but now they seek to train the next generation of troops. We have one member training the archers and one member training the infantry, and together these wizened old warriors were some of the most formidable warriors in their prime. Now they train the new legions, but they serve as formidable foes on their own, one wielding a mysterious ice blade fashioned for him by the wizards of the Crown Knights. And now, let's move on to level 50. Hailing from the mysterious mines of the mountains, we have the Dwarven Army. Do not let their stature fool you, for they are some of the fiercest fighters in the land. Hailing from a regimented system of dwarf kings and dwarf clans, they have joined up with the Crown Knights to face the surmounting forces of Malak the Malign's skeleton army. Longtime allies of both the Crown Knights and the Black Falcons, these dwarves are loyal, fierce, and make for some of the most formidable foes on the battlefield, wielding the crescent-shaped helmets, as well as an axe for every single one of the dwarves. They have used their blacksmithing abilities to conjure up specialized weapons, flaming axes, glowing blue chi orbs, and so much more. But this is just level 50, and so let's take a look at the next faction at level 60. At level 60 we have the Golden Guardsmen. These two glittering knights were the most elite, the most powerful of all of the standard knight forces. Promoted and veterans for years and years, they serve as the personal bodyguards of the king and queen as they charge into battle, the Golden Knight serving as also Lord Commander of all the ground military forces. These two knights are not only formidable fighters, but are the only two men in the realm who have sought to tame dragons, riding dragons of their own into battle. These are the most powerful knights throughout all of the Crown Kingdom, but they're only at level 60, so let's jump in to level 70. For the Crown Knight's ceremony and the order of succession is most crucial, and so at level 70 we have the Crown Prince of the Dwarves and the Crown Princess of the Crown Knights. Soon they will be the king and the queen of their respective factions, which is why they have been granted special importance in the ranks of the knights. Both have been trained for combats, do not let looks deceive you, and they are poised to become the next rulers, and we shall see how good of a ruling pair they shall make as they charge into battle against Malak the Malign's skeleton forces. Of course, that now leaves only 3 more levels to go, and so let's move on to level 80. At level 80 we have the Winged Warriors, an experimental new faction of the Crown Knights. Enhanced by the magics of their wizards, these knights can soar into battle using wings of their own, and no two knights are the same. So far, only 2 winged warriors exist, but they have proven to be some of the greatest combatants in the realm, being able to traverse heavy distances, act as messengers and scouts from above, and strike from the skies when necessary. To showcase their new rank, the leader of the Winged Knights has received a specialized winged armor element, alongside 2 chrome, silver, and golden swords, showcasing their sheer power and strength in the ranks of the Crown Knights. But now let's move on to level 90. All the way at the top of the ranking order of the Crown Knights are the High Wizards and Witches. The Grand Sorceress serves as the main mage in the realm, keeping her sons in check. 2 dueling wizards who seek to one day claim the title of High Sorcerer. Not all is well in the ranks of the Crown Knights, for these 2 sons bid to battle against each other, each one wanting the Grand Sorcerer title for themselves. But as long as the High Sorceress is alive, kept young by her magics and power of her staff, they will never claim the title. For if this sorceress is to fall, chaos will descend upon the Crown Knights, and we shall hope that day never happens. Of course, all 3 wizards and witches use their divine magic to enhance the armies of the soldiers, such as creating the Winged Warriors and fueling the dwarves with rage and battle might. That's why they are at level 90, serving as the magic pedestals in which they serve the pillars of the foundation of the Crown Knights. But now let's move on to level 100. At long last, we have reached level 100 of the Crown Knights. Forged by the strong alliance between the Dwarven King and the King of Men, as well as the ruling queen, this trio of leaders commands the armies against Malak the Malign. Clad in shiny golden armor and wielding a golden sword, this level 100 king is the fair and just ruler of the Crown Knights, whereas the Dwarven King has the ancient scepter of the dwarves, showcasing that whoever wields it is the ruling power of the Dwarven lands. Of course, together they form the ruling council for the Crown Knights, but will their powers be enough to stop the growing forces of darkness? Only you can decide. We've taken a look at all of the Crown Knights from level 1 to level 100. From the King of the Men and the King of the Dwarves to the Winged Warriors, the High Sorceress, the elite Gold and Silver Knights, the Archers, the Paladins, the Footmans, the grizzled old trainers, and everything in between. This has been our look at the Grand Army of the Crown. I hope you enjoyed our look at this Crown Knights army, and comment down below what castle faction should I take a look at next.